Mheshimiwa, tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, ambaye kwa hekima na wema wako umetoa nyadhifa za viongozi na mabunge kwa ustawi wa jamii na utawala wa haki wa wanadamu, tunakusihi utasame kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao wameridhika kutuita ili tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za jamhuri yetu. Tunakuomba uteremshie baraka zako sisi tuliokutanika hapa, na utujalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako ziendelezwe, na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Sergeant, you may continue ringing the bell. Honorable members, we now have quorum to transact business. Clerk.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I have a communication, a notification of legislative proposals to amend Articles 88 and 89 of the Constitution. Honorable members, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 1147A, I wish to notify the House that I have approved pre-publication scrutiny of 2 legislative proposals seeking to amend the Constitution by the member for Mandera North, the Honorable Major Bashir Sheikh Abdullahi MP, and the member for Thika Town constituency, the Honorable Alice Nganga MP. Honorable members, the first proposal seeks to amend Article 88 of the Constitution to provide that in instances where the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC is not fully constituted, the Secretary of the IEBC shall discharge the duties and functions of the Commission with regards to the conduct of by-elections. The second proposal seeks to amend Article 89 of the Constitution to require the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to ensure that the review of constituency boundaries does not result in the loss of constituency that existed before the promulgation of the Constitution 2010. Honorable members, the manner of amending the Constitution through parliamentary initiative is provided for and Article 256 of the Constitution. Standing Order 1147A actualizes this process in the National Assembly by providing as follows, and I quote, "Members at the bar, take the nearest seats. Take the nearest seats. Thank you. And I quote Article 7A, in respect of a proposal to amend the Constitution, the proposal shall be accompanied by the signatures of at least 50 other members in support, unless it is sponsored by the majority party or the minority party. Where the Speaker approves the pre-publication scrutiny of the proposal, the Speaker shall notify the House of the approval and may, 1, allow the sponsor to make a statement on the objectives of the proposal. 2, allow comments on the statement made by the member. 3, facilitate collation of the views from the comments of members at an appropriate forum. And 4, invite members with similar or related proposals to make submissions before the committee to which the proposal is referred. Honorable members, this procedure is informed by the decision of the High Court in petition number E282 of 2020, consolidated with petitions numbers 397 of 2020, E400 of 2020, E401 of 2020, E402 of 2020, E416 of 2020, E426 of 2020, and 2 of 2021, which states that a bill proposing to amend the Constitution cannot be amended once it has been published. This procedure in our standing orders therefore aims to collate as many views as possible from as many stakeholders and experts as may be practicable before a proposal to amend the Constitution is published. Indeed, I note that the proposals by the two honorable members have complied with the first part of this provision, having obtained signatures of more than 50 members of this House. As your Speaker, my obligation is therefore to facilitate the rest of the processes as provided for in the standing orders. In this regard, and in keeping with the requirements of the said standing order, I wish to notify the sponsors, that is the member for Mandera North and the member for Thika Town, that on Wednesday, December the 6th, 2023, I'll accord them an opportunity of not more than 15 minutes each to make general statements outlining the contents and objectives of their proposals. Honorable members, in order to facilitate the initial stage of collation of members' views, I'll therefore nominate a time for the House to make general comments on the proposal. Subsequently, I will refer the proposals to the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs or issue other directions in view of the comments that will be made by members during the proceedings. Any member with similar or related proposals will be at liberty to make submissions to the committees for consideration in line with the Standing Order 1147A. Honorable members, in the meantime, the Clerk of the National Assembly is hereby directed to circulate the legislative proposals to all members, and the House is accordingly guided. Thank you. Next.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Honorable members, there are 2 petitions, one to be presented by yours truly, and the second by Honorable Member for Chepalungu, Victor Koech. After presentation, then we'll allow you a few minutes to make comments on both. Honorable members, I have a petition regarding enactment of the Kenya Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Society Bill 2023. Honorable members, Article 119 of the Constitution accords any person the right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority. Further, Standing Order 2252B requires the Speaker to report to the House any petition other than those presented by a member. Honorable members, in this regard, I wish to report to the House that my office has received a petition from one Fred Ondieki Sagwe, passport number BK117283, representing the Robotics Society of Kenya, RSK. The petitioner states that the Robotics Society of Kenya, RSK, is a registered non-profit organization registered as R54783, based in Kenya with a mission to promote computing in institutions and communities through robotics, artificial intelligence, physical computing, makerspace, Internet of Things, STEAM, chess education, and research. The petitioner further states that the fields of robotics and artificial intelligence are rapidly growing with the potential to revolutionize many industries, including healthcare, manufacturing, and retail, and improve human lives in many ways, ranging from increasing efficiency to creating new jobs and businesses. Honorable members, despite the upside of artificial intelligence, the petitioner highlights concerns relating to privacy, security, and civil rights. A case in point, the WorldCoin platform that has been criticized for lack of scrutiny of security and privacy in features. The petitioner explains that to tackle these challenges, the European Union has developed the Artificial Intelligence Act, which is expected to be fully approved by the end of the year. The use of artificial intelligence in the European Union will be regulated by the world's first comprehensive law on artificial intelligence. The petition therefore prays that the National Assembly enacts legislation to formally establish the Kenya Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Society as a professional body which will immensely assist in regulating, promoting, and facilitating the activities of robotics and artificial intelligence practices in the country. Honorable members, having established that the matters raised in the petition is well within the authority of this House, and further that the matters raised in this petition are not pending before any court of law, constitutional or legal body, I hereby commit the petition to the Public Petitions Committee for consideration pursuant to Standing Order 208A. The committee is required to consider the petition and report its findings to the House and to the petitioner in accordance with the Standing Order 2272. I thank you. Member for Chebalungu.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I, the undersigned, on behalf of the residents of Chepalungu Sub-County, draw the attention of the House to the following. That the harsh climatic conditions in Chepalungu Sub-County have become a great concern to the residents who are left with no clear sources of livelihood. That Chepalungu Sub-County meets the requirement of hardship area due to its land being purely black cotton soil and fairly flat terrain, leading to deplorable road network that have to be redone every year. Armed movements amongst the locals, lack of clean drinking water, and basic social amenities, among others. That the geographical orientation and rocky terrain in most parts of sub-county have made it impossible for public service providers, among them the Kenya Power Lightning Company, to access the villages, leading to extremely low electricity connection. That the fairly flat terrain and poor road network of infrastructure makes the area inaccessible, with limited access to clean water and equally low access to water for farming. With surveys showing that the water table is at an average of 220 meters below the surface, with low yields, making the process of drawing underground water very expensive and uneconomical. That with over 201 primary schools and 97 secondary schools in Chepalungu Sub-County, teachers posted to these schools have been reluctant to take up jobs, with those posted seeking transfers elsewhere due to non-payment of hardship allowances by the government. That there are very few medical facilities, making the locals travel long distances in search of medical care. That Chepalungu sub-county borders two constituencies which are in the same climatic conditions, yet both have been gazetted as hardship areas. That despite Chepalungu sub-county having met the criteria used to qualify and gazetted as hardship area, the government and the relevant ministries and or agencies have not been effected to date. And that the matters raised in these petitions are not pending before any court of law, constitutional, or any other legal body. Therefore, your humble petitioners praise that the National Assembly, through the Public Petitions Committee, 1, recommends to the relevant ministry agencies to gazette Chepalungu sub-county as hardship area, and makes any other appropriate recommendations it deems fit in addressing the circumstances raised in this petition. And yours petitioners will ever pray. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Chepalungu. Yes, Honorable Murugara.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. The two petitions are well timed. The one on robotics, I may not have a lot to say about it, but the Petitions Committee should actually look at it to see whether these robotics would be of great benefit to the country and to the economy, especially at a time like now. As regards the petition by Honorable Victor Koech Mandazi of Chepalungu, again, this is timely. We have had many members of parliament coming here to petition the House to recommend the gazettement of various areas as hardship areas. I have actually also brought a petition to gazette the Raka constituency as far as the rest of the civil service is concerned as a hardship area, because for TSC and judiciary, the Raka constituency is a hardship area. And I continue to pursue that petition because it has not been implemented in spite of it being passed by this House. The same applies to a sub-county in Tharaka-Nithi known as Igamba-Ng'ombe, a very dry area similar to Tharaka, which should actually be gazetted as a hardship sub-county in the country. These are areas that should not be ignored, and these motions that are brought and the petitions that are brought to the House, once passed by the House, once the Petitions Committee makes a recommendation, we would implore the Committee on Implementation to have these implemented the way they are passed by the House, because Kenyans are waiting. There are many areas that need to be hardship areas, but they are not yet gazetted. Therefore, I do plead the case for Igamba-Ng'ombe sub-county also to be included as a hardship area. Thank you.
I see a lot of members on the screen. Are they on these petitions? Abraham Kirwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. I want to actually support this motion by the member of Chepalungu about the hardship, gazetting some areas to be hardship. This has been an issue that has affected a lot of constituencies,
Clerk,
including...
give 2 minutes to each member. Kirwa, you have 2 minutes. Compose your submissions.
Yes, including Mosop, where we have truly a big problem along the Nandi escarpment. Most of the schools along those areas, Mr. Speaker, no teacher wants to go there because the area itself is harsh. And as such, if this is done, if most of these areas are really considered to be hardship areas, it will attract most of the teachers so that it will actually help most of the learning institutions so that the students in those areas will get good teachers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to support. Thank you.
Rachel Nyamai.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise first of all to support the petition which has been read by yourself on behalf of one Victor Koech. Honorable Speaker, there is a lot of use of artificial intelligence in our country and without much regulation. People who are visually handicapped, people who are physically handicapped, are using different gadgets to get to move, to get to understand their surroundings without regulating these kind of gadgets. Also, artificial intelligence is being used in marketing sector, in banking sector, in security, where the in identification of faces and eyes, Honorable Speaker. Sometimes our data is taken without even noticing that it is being taken and stored. It is being used in medical diagnostics and also in education. So I think it is very important to have this matter discussed in this House and possibly have some form of regulation of artificial intelligence. Honorable Speaker, on the matter that has been brought by the member for Chepalungu, I would like to say that I support this petition. I have realized that Mutomo and Ikuda sub-counties, Honorable Speaker, the two sub-counties that I represent in this House are identified as some of those that have been removed. And Honorable Speaker, I support the petition, and I'll be there also to stand with the people of Mutomo and Ikuda that we are highly marginalized, and our people need to remain in that list of marginalized. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Beatrice Lachi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also rise to support, Mr. Speaker, especially the robotics, and I think what the committee should do is more research, that you find, so that you don't find ourselves in a crisis where at one point we had machines coming to Kericho, and they are like robots, by the way, and we have a lot of conflict. So it's good to do research. It's a good design in terms of assisting humans, but we need to ask ourselves as a country if indeed we are ready for it, because it's more advanced, it's technology, it reduces human when you're doing work. So it's one thing we need to do a research. For the issue of hardship, Mr. Speaker, we've had this issue here. And at one point I stood and I said, if we are talking about hardship, then we have, when you look at the crisis that we have in the country today, you'll find every county or every constituency in terms of that hardship. It doesn't matter whether it's hardships of teachers. You'll find, Mr. Speaker, crisis with children. All those are things that are creating hardships within every areas that we have. So it's something this House has to discuss and agree that either we say every corner of this country, people are facing hardships, but then if you bring it in clustering, Mr. Speaker, we'll always have these issues. So I support, and we also need to do, again, more research on it. Thank you.
Robert Bukose.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the petition which you presented, Honorable Speaker, on issues about robotics and artificial intelligence. In medicine, we use robotics mainly in operations, and many of these use of robotics are actually not well regulated, and I think it will be important that we have a law, because this is new technology. It is it's a new field, and therefore I think it's important that even as we use it, we have to have a law that governs its use and its regulations, so that even when somebody gets injury from it, then the person should be able to be well compensated, and somebody has to take responsibility. On the issue about hardship by Honorable Victor, aka Mandasi, Honorable Speaker, it's not just Jebalungu, but this is something that has been recurring in this House, where members present about hardships. I wonder who does the cassettement or regulations of which are the hardship areas. And I think the issue they used in the past is no longer viable, because they were using areas of dry areas. But you will find that there are areas with hard terrain. Like in my Endebes, you talk of Salama, you talk of Chepkirot, Chemgengen, Kashaber, and Kibosit. Hard terrain where even a teacher is posted will not want to go to those places. So I think we need to redefine the issue about hardship areas and do proper assessment of hardship areas. With those few remarks, I support.
Mangale Chiforomondo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to support the petition by one Honorable Koech. This issue of hardship is so important, Mr. Speaker, because then in my constituency, that is Lungalunga constituency or Lungalunga sub-county, the area is, or it deserves to be gazetted as hardship. All means and purpose to do so, I have personally followed up the issue to the PS and to very high offices. But Mr. Speaker, we are being taken round and round. And I think this House should actually have more say in when it comes to hardship gazettement. So I want to support that there are areas like the highlands where teachers cannot stay. When they are posted, they look for transfers. And also, bigger part of Lungalunga, it's semi-arid. So I support and I beg and request that this issue be given the importance it deserves. Thank you.
Member for Kamkunji. Member for Kamkunji, Yusuf Hassan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand, first of all, to comment on the request from the Honorable Member for Chepalunga. I think we may need to look more comprehensively at this issue, because it appears as if every neighborhood in our country